Hello everybody, my name is Benji, and welcome back to Satisfactory. Now, I'm sorry that this took so long to come out, and I am simultaneously sorry that all of the things I said I was going to do between stream and making this video have not happened. Mainly, none of the power is ready to hook up, nor is the belt work actually finished over here on the end sideline. So literally nothing has happened since stream. I had a conference paper due on Friday the 25th. I'm currently recording this the day it comes out, Saturday the 26th. But I still wanted to give a little bit of a recap and a little bit of an update prior to Monday evening's stream, where we will be continuing this wonderful, wonderful 5-thrust phase 5 plan. Man, say that 5 times fast. Get it? 5. So, for those of you who are not familiar with the project, we are here in the Dune Desert, and we are going to be making... Oh, I always forget that that's a thing. We are going to be making a absorbent amount of all of the Phase 5 space elevator products. The ballistic warp drive, AI expansion servers, and biochemical sculptors. Specifically, we're going to be making 15 per minute of these, 4 per minute of these, and 4 per minute of these, which is quite a substantial amount. And as soon as they are done in the space elevator, they're going to go off to the Awesome Sink, because that is a really quick way to get coupons, and I want to get... I think I actually have the coupons in here. I want to get 1,000 coupons so that I can purchase the golden nut statue, the golden barrel nut statue, and get that achievement. That's kind of like the secondary objective of this factory. So first and foremost, we have all of our raw materials coming in here by train. You can see some of the various train stations around the Dune Desert here, gathering up all of our materials. And then there's a few other materials like SAM, aluminum, rubber, plastic, diamonds, or time crystals, nitrogen gas, that are coming in from a very different large portion of the greater world, which is why all of these short-range trains are 1-2s, and all of the longer-range trains are 1-4s. And as far as I can tell, there's no logistical nightmares occurring throughout the greater world of Satisfactory here. All of the trains are moving and grooving perfectly fine and have no issues as of yet. And there really is only a little bit of heavy traffic down here at these absolutely terrible intersections. Mainly this one is the terrible intersection. But everything's merges and splits now, so that's good. So that was a couple of streams ago. And in the stream that we just finished up here, we have all of our processing of these raw materials ready to rock and roll into the next level of intermediate products. So starting over here on the side, we have all of our iron. We have an absolute ton of iron coming in. This one is 720, which is going to make 960 steel right here with 720 coal coming out the back. You can kind of see the line right there. And then we have an additional 960 iron coming together right here in 2 more belts of 480. Then right underneath of us, we have our SAM. Oops, I just copied something. We have our SAM going into reanimated SAM here. The reanimated SAM, and also the Caterium ingots, which we'll get to in a minute, making fixite ingots. Then the fixite ingots coming right back over and making fixite trigons. And then those fixite trigons, last but not least, come out over here, and they will go off to the edge. Then we have our absolutely massive stack of copper. This is 6 belts of 480, which is 2,880 copper per minute. A majority of that copper, 2.5 of these, I guess not a majority, but 2.5 here, which is 1,200 copper. The belt's not upgraded enough. I'm pretty sure it's this belt, but we'll find out. We're going to follow it anyway. That comes on this small belt right here, all the way through all the rest of the processing, and gets eventually over here to our copper powder, which is used for nuclear pasta. 200 copper powder per minute, by the way. And yes, in fact, this belt speed is not fast enough. Mark 6 is 1200 per minute. Mark 5 is only 780 per minute. So, this belt speed is not enough to carry all of the copper to where it needs to go. The rest of the copper is going to go off to processing. I believe the bottom belt is 960 and the top belt is 720 or something like that, because that 480 splits into 240, 240, and that's another 480. So 480 plus 240 is in fact 720, which fits on a Mark 5, so that's great. And then we have our massive tower of water here. I don't know what your problem is. Shouldn't be having a problem. So that's a little weird. I might have to bug fix that. But we have our Caterium. We have a ton of Caterium coming in. Every single one of these refineries is 200% overclocked. And we're getting 960 Caterium ingots out of this, which is 1920 Caterium ore coming in. Half of all of that goes straight over there to make the fixite ingots and fixite trigons. The other half is going to go off to our processing. Then we are getting close to the end here. We've got the quartz crystals. So the quartz and water combine here. That's why we've got these last two waters doing waterfall things. And then we've got cheap silica for less quartz, more limestone. It's a desert. There's limestone everywhere. We're fine. To make our cheap silica. And then last, but certainly not least, we have all of our wet concrete. So we have our water that's being piped over, not trained over, and that is making us our concrete, which I don't actually remember how much. 76 times 14, yeah, 1064. Call it 1064 concrete per minute. Lots and lots and lots of concrete, lots and lots and lots of processing, lots and lots and lots of belt shenanigans coming all the way over here to a double-stacked bus. This is our little bridge that's going to take us from one island, this island, over to another island over here. And this island is going to just extend, and it's going to split off to the left and split off to the right and do more processing and more processing. And we're going to take all of our lovely output materials that we have stacked up on these belts. You can see the order here and how much of each one is actually being processed here. And all of these lovely, lovely items are going to be going into the intermediate processing facility. So that is half of thrust 4, roughly. So from here, iron is going to make a whole bunch of things. Reinforced iron plates is like the main iron product, but iron's used in a lot of other things too. Singularity cells included, ironically enough. Same kind of thing with steel pipes, steel beams, encased industrial beams with the concrete and a whole bunch of other stuff. Copper is just mainly going to be used in wire, cable, copper sheets, which are going to go into things like circuit boards with the plastic and heat sinks with the rubber, all kinds of other stuff. Concrete, mostly used for steel, also used for singularity cells, also used for a couple of other things. Quartz crystals, mainly, I think those are for crystal oscillators and also radio control units, right? Radio controlling. I don't have my notes up, so this is all from memory. I think we're doing this one, this alternate recipe with the heat sink and the high-speed connectors. Either that or we're doing this. I actually forget. But either way, circuit boards and high-speed connectors, you know, that's quartz. Crystal oscillators, that's quartz. Crystal oscillators are a must. and we're using the base recipe because I don't want to mess with AI limiters for this, and KTRM and rubber is kind of a waste. But that's going to be used for crystal computers, I think, and superposition oscillators is another huge thing. Silica, I actually don't remember what the silica is used for. We're not using this. I don't... Huh. I guess we're doing silica circuit boards. Or, no, maybe we're doing silica high-speed connectors. Because I don't think we're doing silica circuit boards. That's a lot of copper and prime numbers, which I'm not a fan of. Obviously, we're not doing uranium, and obviously it's not being used for fine concrete, because we're using wet concrete. So I don't actually know what this is used for. I don't remember. But we've got 735 per minute of it, so we obviously need a lot. Aluminum's just aluminum things, plastic, rubber, those are obvious. Time crystals are only used in one thing, and that is the... Okay, they're used in more than one thing. They are used in the dark matter trap, and they're used in the neuroquantum processor. Because the neuroquantum processor is used in the AI expansion server, alongside the superposition oscillators, which use dark matter crystals, which is why the dark matter trap is such a big deal here. And the dark matter actually is purely taken from byproducts. And we actually are going to have an overflow amount of the dark matter residue byproduct. So that means this is going to end up getting sunk at the end of the day, just through extra production of these dark matter crystals here. Fixed like trigons are used in exactly two things. The first of those is the biomechanical sculptor. The second of those is the neuroquantum processor, because obviously we're not doing fixonium. I have a whole other plan for that. Deuterium ingots are used for quick wire, and I think that's really it. And then copper powder is literally only used in one thing, nuclear pasta. With the pressure conversion cube, which is fused modular frames, which we're not doing the heat fused frame, we're doing the base recipe. So aluminum casing, copper and aluminum. Heavy modular frame, we're using the heavy encased frame. This is by far the longest crafting chain out of the entire factory, by the way. And it doesn't even start with the nuclear pasta. It starts with, I think, the AI expansion server? No, I'm wrong. It is, in fact, the ballistic warp drive. I should have known. Ballistic warp drive, worst crafting recipe in the entire game. Dark matter crystals, superposition oscillators, which has crystal oscillators and dark matter. Singularity cells, which is nuclear pasta, which is fused modular frames, heavy modular frames, and, you know, all of the joy that comes with the modular frame product route. And thermal propulsion rockets, which are turbo motors. Modular engine, cooling system's not terrible. More fused modular frames, by the way. But the modular engine is pretty bad. Motor, rubber, smart plating. But worse than that is the turbo motor. And I think for this one, we're just doing the default recipe. Because I don't remember there being electromagnetic control rods in this process. So just the normal recipe. Cooling system, radio control unit motor, which is rotor and stator, which is, you know, wire, pipe, quick wire, etc. Radio control units, again. So there's a ton of processing. We're just going to take it one step at a time. Planning factories, I have to say, you have to start... Man, that's something that my professor does. He's rubbing off on me after 3 years. Planning a factory, you should definitely start at the top and work your way backwards. Building a factory, you should not do that. Building a factory should be the reverse of how you plan it. So you plan end product. You go into the codex and you look up, you know, ballistic warp drive. And then you go down the process chain of, like, what do I need to make this happen? And then you find all the things you need to make it happen. And then you do what I'm doing, and you build it from the start up. Gather your raw resources, process them into ingots. You already know how many you need if you planned it right. And then do all of your next processing, etc., all the way up the line until eventually at the very end, way over there, way 800 meters that way, you finally end up with your ballistic warp drives. And then you're done. Super simple, super easy. It's only going to take me like 100 hours to finish everything here. It's going to be great. And then we get to move on to the next product, or the next project, kind of depending. I'll also remove that now. Which is going to involve the swamp pretty heavily. And that is going to be Fixonium fuel rods. Because I want to say I've done it. I just want to say I've done it. I don't need many of them. I don't need that many of them. I really don't. But I really want to say that I did Fixonium fuel. Just because it's a logistical challenge. These produce no waste in a power facility, in a nuclear power plant. They make no waste. So this is a way to get more power through a very complicated process and produce no waste. Fixonium requires plutonium waste and singularity cells, of course dark matter residue, but you can get that from here, so that's fine. The plutonium waste, of course, comes from plutonium fuel rods, which I'm surprised it doesn't make me to. Pressure conversion cube. Fantastic, but if you're building nuclear phospho for a singularity cell anyway, this is the recipe you should use. Encased plutonium cells, non-fissile uranium. Using the fertile uranium requires uranium waste. Uranium waste comes from uranium fuel rods. Uranium fuel rods, this is the best recipe. It used to be beacons. Encased uranium fuel rods, this is the best recipe because there's no sulfuric acid cycling and the weirdness that comes with that. And that's it. It's really not hard. The hardest thing is balancing all of the byproducts and balancing all the waste and making sure that everything is at the proper ratios, and that's really where the challenge lies. So, with all of that said and done, next time we're going to go off the chain of processing all of our lovely, lovely, lovely materials. So that's going to be it for this one, excuse me. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. But without further ado, adios, sayonara, au revoir, hasta la vista, das vidania, evidizien, ciao, and goodbye. Please have yourselves a fantastic rest of your day. Get some sleep if you need to. Don't forget to stay hydrated. This video is in the bag. I'll see you all on Monday. Later, y'all.